Joey Jackson, our HLN legal analyst, is here with former prosecutor Dan Schorr. Okay, former prosecutor Dan Schorr, I've been talking about these cell phones like crazy because every time I see that video from the helicopter of all them bikers texting away, waiting for their zip ties and waiting to be processed and taken off to the Huskow, I'm thinking, who are you texting? What are you saying? And more importantly, what'd you say yesterday?
Exactly, because the theory of the prosecution is there are so many people, but there's a large criminal organization, so it doesn't necessarily matter what actions each person took as long as they were communicating with other people, acting with other people, engaging in this
conspiring,
violent shootout.
Planning.
Absolutely. So any communication with other people before about we're meeting up, we're going to have this conflict, or I'm part of this biker gang that, as the sergeant just said, is a criminal organization, that's all very important evidence for the prosecution.
Joey, no one is expecting that someone says on his cell phone, I am going to likely capitally murder several victims tomorrow at the event. But they do say other things like threats, plans if the meeting goes awry, bring your blank weapon or AK-47 or pack as much as you can. We are not letting this stand. All these kinds of statements.
Very important, because what happens, Ashley, is that any jury, once a jury's in panel, provided they're indicted, the matter moves forward, can draw reasonable inferences using their common sense, which seasoned prosecutors like Dan Schorr will remind jurors to do constantly. And particularly when you have the element of secreting different types of weapons, generally you don't secret weapons unless you intend to use them for purposes of that are pretty bad.
Did you hear that, Sergeant? 1,000 weapons.
Yes.
1,000 weapons.
Hidden all over the restaurant.
It's like 10, or it's like 5 weapons per person arrested almost, and one of them is bad as an AK.
Yeah, but, and I want to put a big but here, I think certainly people who engage in activities like this need to be prosecuted, but we have to be very careful that people are being prosecuted properly. Why do I say that? In this country, you don't prosecute people simply for their associations. You are permitted and allowed to associate, and so it's important that particular criminal activity be ascribed to the individuals involved. Otherwise, it's problematic. And so before we say, oh, this retired detective was involved and he did something really bad, we have to find out what specifically did he do. Was he texting? Did he know, if he did text, of anything that was going to occur of the criminal variety?
And that's that conspiracy I was talking about.
Right.
If you're wearing the Banditos colors, the 3 patches, and you're there and you were texting the day before about all of these things, retired detective or unemployed, it doesn't make a difference. You're facing capital murder.
Right. Once you're a part of the criminal organization, you're responsible for all the acts of the criminal organization on that day. But Joey's right. You still have to ascribe some specific conduct to an individual to make him part of this criminal enterprise. And that's going to be the challenge of the prosecution, sorting this all out with so many defendants.
Can't imagine the job they have. Dan, Joey, thank you both.
Pleasure.
It's just a fascinating case no matter how you slice it.